Welcome to Wild. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robin Lavasser. I love a Friday Scaling Your Skills call that we just had. We do those every Friday, by the way. They're at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you shoot me a message, I will get you onto a link that invites you to those. They're 45 minutes. We have guests on there. I promise you it is such tactical, incredible information. Total side note, but would love to have you join us on our Friday Scaling Your Skills. Last week, we did one. I can even send you the recording on it, and it was better than you have to be. And I'm going to do my best on here without the collaboration of others to really nail that down. Think about that statement for a minute, being better than you have to be. And what I really think about that is that standard will change everything in your world. It will change absolutely everything. There is a massive difference in employees, in yourself, in any sort of relationship, whether it is a friendship, a marriage, anything, between doing enough and doing what greatness requires. And unfortunately, most people operate at the level of obligation. They do what they have to do. They return a call, they close a file, they show up, they hit a minimum, they stay employed, if you will. Extraordinary people operate at a level of standard, if you will, that is better than they have to do. I'll give you just the smallest example. I was walking, the tunnel when you walk off of an airplane and you're walking up back into the airport, if you will, to get to your next flight, or maybe that's your final destination. And I'm walking by this man and he's kind of bebopping. And I can't tell you, I fly a lot. So I pass people in that tunnel that work for whatever airline I am flying all of the time. At best, we make eye contact with a smile. This gentleman walked by me this last week and he literally so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, big old smile. And he says, "Hey, hope you had a nice flight. Thank you for choosing us. We hope to see you again real soon." Big old smile. Now I know he is an everyday employee, just like all the other. He doesn't own Alaska Airlines. This one happens to be Alaska. He doesn't own it, but he literally just is choosing to be better than he has to be. Right? And you see employees that do that. That seems so small and yet it's so big. And so you think about the difference that you see someone grow in their career. I'm a prime example of this, you guys, not in a brag way, but I started in this industry as a temporary receptionist. And I moved so fast through the ranks because I was doing things that were more than what anybody would have anticipated me doing. Now, I could have done the bare minimum and stayed a receptionist for a very long time. I could have done the bare minimum and stayed an assistant to the big boss for a very long time. I could have done the minimum and stayed a processor instead of a lead processor for a very long time. I could have done the bare minimum and been an average producing loan officer for a very long time. But when you are better than you have to be, think raving fans, think of all the directions that you're trying to create things that are better than they have to be. I reference a lot in my marriage. There are no brownie points for my husband or I coming home every night. There are no brownie points whatsoever for us sharing in responsibilities of dishes or laundry or mowing lawns or taking care of our life. There are no brownie points. When the kids were little, nobody got brownie points for changing the kids' diapers. Those are things you have to do. You have to do them. And yet, how did our marriage grow for this last 27 years into something incredible? We've both chosen, not every day, not always, but more frequently than not, to be more than we have to be to one another. More than we have to be. 4 or 5 days a week, I literally am in the bathroom getting ready, and all of a sudden a plate of fresh farm eggs scrambled up on a plate with my little Grüns gummies that I eat in the morning and my Zip Fizz with all my vitamins in it and my electrolytes, everything mixed in, is on the counter with a fork, with a napkin, sitting there for no good reason. He didn't have to do it. And yet he tries so hard to be better than he has to be, right? When you out of the blue do things for people, when you take an extra step, when you do things that are making a difference with a client. So I want you to think about that in mortgage, real estate, leadership, and life. The marketplace in any of those facilities rewards people who consistently exceed expectations. Not occasionally, not when convenient, but truly is their identity. And you know people that you go, man, they just exceed my expectations. You know, the main real estate agent that my husband and I use for our kids and ourselves has exceeded our expectations so beyond what we would ever anticipate. I can't get enough of her, if I'm being honest. And I love tons of agents that I know would do a quality job, but she is excessive in her engagement, her follow-up, her knowledge, her facts that she provides, her above and beyond way that she goes about things. And it becomes something that you feel really good about working with someone. And so the real question that I want to have you think about, are you operating at obligation or in excellence? I'm going to ask it again. Are you operating at obligation or excellence? Because average says that's enough. Checked the box. Got that done, did that basic task, delivered it in a very basic, expected way. Excellence says, how can I create experience that people will never forget? How can I do something that goes one step further? Sometimes it's the email with the phone call and an additional explanation. Sometimes it's I'm going to send an extra gift or a video. I'm going to do this. I'm going to check with both parties and get everybody on the same page. You know what? I'm going to honor. And, one of the little tricks that I do is when an appraisal comes in high, I group text the clients with the realtor and I gush on the realtor and their negotiation skills and how strong they are. And then I ask for referrals on that text because I'm making them better than they have to be by being better than I have to be. The truth is you could just forward an appraisal out and say, here's your appraisal for review. That is what you have to do. And yet the simple 30-second extra task is going above and beyond, doing something at a place of excellence, at impact versus just getting the job done, right? What a difference that makes. And so average loan officers, they make calls when necessary, they meet deadlines, and they deliver basic service. Boop, 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 here's your pre-approval. Boop, 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 here's your numbers, your cash to close. Here's this, here's this. I'll call you when you need me, calls when necessary. I'll meet the deadlines you gave me. Elite loan officers anticipate questions before they're asked. They educate beyond a transaction. They create peace of mind. They build trust that multiplies referrals, right? It's sending the extra video, making the Saturday morning call, just saying, it was a lot this week. How are you guys doing? Do you have any fun plans for the weekend? Preparing deeper, right? Preparing more for that call, that email, that face-to-face, whatever that is. Leading even when it's not required. Solving problems before blaming or bringing solutions to every problem. Taking ownership. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, that's on me. I'll take care of it, right? We will get this fixed this way. Following up longer, for longer. I can't tell you how many people miss the opportunity to just keep in touch and follow up even after a transaction, which is really saying I focused on the experience and the relationship versus just the closing. Serving harder. Staying sharper on your skills, right? Doing more than you have to do. Reputation at the end of the day, you guys, compounds, and people remember uncommon effort. I always say people don't ignore hustle. They don't ignore passion. And when those things are coming out, it's uncommon effort. Referrals multiply. Period. End of story. Excellence creates stories worth sharing with the next person and the next person and the next person. Leadership expands when you are being more than you have to be. It essentially builds trust with those who you build trust with those who consistently exceed standards. When someone exceeds standards, you think, wow, That's a wow. I want them again, right? I want to work with them again. I want to use them again. I want to help them make money because they exceeded what I even expected. Self-respect, huge one, you guys. It grows from things like this. When you know you gave more than required, your own self-confidence deepens. You know what you're contributing. You know you're doing more than others do, and you're able to not only exemplify that, but edify that in your own self-awareness, self-confidence. You're able to edify it within yourself. That's a beautiful gift to yourself. So the hidden truth in all of it, you may not always be paid immediately for doing more. You may not always be paid for it, but isn't it funny how ultimately you become impossible to ignore, and the law of reciprocity, if you will, which I fully believe in and have my entire life, absolutely rewards people who give beyond expectation. In any way, they give beyond expectation. So your competition is doing exactly what is required. A few of them are slightly going above and beyond. But if you become better than required, more than you have to be, you separate yourself naturally, not through hype, not through talent, not even through years in the business, through the standard that you choose to hold. Minimum effort creates maximum vulnerability. Minimum effort creates maximum vulnerability in your business. Ask yourself this question: where am I doing enough instead of doing exceptional? Enough is what has to be done. Exceptional is what I'm choosing to create that experience. Is it client care? Is it in my follow-up? Is it in my leadership? Is it in my marketing? Is it in my relationships? It is in my own personal discipline. How do I raise the bar for myself? How do I create an exceptional marriage? How do I create an exceptional faith? How do I create an exceptional self-relationship? How do I create an exceptional business? How do I create an exceptional team, referral partners, client experience? And when you think that way, you're going to ultimately raise that bar. So success is rarely built in giant moments. We say that a lot, right? It's in the small kept promises. It's in the little things. It's built in quiet decisions when you choose to be better than necessary, you guys. Choosing to be better than necessary. Because people who build extraordinary lives are not asking, what do I have to do? It says, what does excellence do? What do I get to do to create a wow? How do I do the +1? How do I do the raving fans? What a great book for you to reference if you need to. Average people do what's required. Extraordinary people do better than they have to do, and they create a life far beyond what they ever thought possible. So be one of those people. Do not build your career. Do not build yourself as a loan officer, as a real estate agent, anything that you do for work on minimum standards. Build a life on uncommon standards. Uncommon standards. Because better than you have to be is where the greatness always will begin and end. We'll see you soon. If this was helpful, I hope that you share it. I would love to see you on a Scaling Your Skills, and we'll see you on the next episode of Wild.